All right, what's up, everybody? I'm Aaron Kendrick. You know that by now here on AK After Hours. Thanks for subscribing, first of all, hitting that little red subscribe button right underneath this video. I'm assuming you have already, but if not, it's not too late. It's never too late, okay? Great song. And right now is part 2 in AK in the Beginning, where I'm going back with a couple of my old friends, telling everybody how I got into radio. And if you've already been looking at the page, you saw my interview with a guy named Nick Anthony from NBC Sports Radio, who gave me my start. And right now, I want to chat with one of my very best friends in the world, who I met way back in the day on OWW Radio through a little thing called OWW Jeopardy. Okay, and right now, I want to bring him in. He's a great friend of mine, great guy. His name is Daniel Correia. Daniel, what's up, man?
Hey, Aaron, what's going on, man?
So a lot of you guys out there, if you listen to AK in the morning on KHBM 93.7 FM, you know Daniel because he's Daniel from San Leandro, California. And what I'm going to do is, well, never mind, I can't do it. Well, yeah, I can do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up his little thing there, and let's see here.
This is Daniel from San Leandro, California. I found AK in the AM on Facebook, and I'm loving what I'm hearing.
So he's loving what he's hearing. He's from San Leandro, California, and he's one of my very best friends. And first of all, Daniel, thanks for taking the time to sit down with me and talk a little bit tonight.
Yeah, not a problem, brother.
So me and Daniel met way back in, 2009-ish?
8, 9, something like that, yeah.
And as far as I know, we first talked during OWW Jeopardy. I don't know if you remember anything before that. Your memory sucks, though.
Might have been maybe a thread or two on the forums or something like that before, but nah, first time I think I ever talked to you, had to have maybe been that, or I don't know if there was a time I called into the show and you were also on. I don't know. I'm not totally positive, but it's been a long time.
Has been a long time, and we're going to talk about OWW Jeopardy and, of course, the forum that he just mentioned, OWW Genesis, how we really got to know each other, and, of course, we'll talk about, playing Call of Duty and everything throughout the years, but, more than anything, Daniel is one of my best friends, and so you have grown up in California your whole life, right?
Yeah, with a small excursion to Texas for a little bit, but yeah, California the whole way. Yep.
So you are you're not a Dallas Stars fan.
No, of course not. San Jose Sharks, baby.
Yes, San Jose Sharks. That's your claim to fame over there. I mean, the Raiders definitely aren't at this point.
Well, now that they're going to Las Vegas, but they're still my team. The Raiders are still my team. But, the Sharks are not playing so well right now, too. Right now, unfortunately for me as a Raiders fan, the 49ers are getting ready to go play in the Super Bowl, so I'm not really happy about that.
Ah, come on. You got to be happy for the 49ers, right?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Well, they're definitely my pick to win the Super Bowl coming up. I'm not a Chiefs fan by any stretch of the imagination. But one of my good friends...
I'm not really either, so, but, yeah.
One of my other very good friends that the listeners know as the Hot Rod, he is a diehard Dallas Stars fan. So maybe you two should meet sometime.
Hopefully we don't get into a fight.
Well, I don't know if I sent you that video the other day of me playing the VR game. Did I send you? Okay, well that was the Hot Rod's VR setup. So great friend of mine. We played Drunken Bar Fight. Got my workout in. It was hilarious. And I think you and I need to both invest into a VR because it's too fun.
Yeah, my nephew has one, and he got me to play Five Nights at Freddy's, and I don't think I've ever had higher anxiety levels than knowing some animatronic thing is trying to come and kill me.
Well, and that's one of the things that I've been thinking about with this new YouTube page is all the content. I'm going to have a category for interviews. I'm going to have a category for commercials that I cut here at KHBM just to have as my own archive, And I'm also thinking about branching out into other entertaining ideas, such as eating challenges. I'm a big fan of those. I can't wait for my opportunity to sit down and eat a 5-pound bag of sugar-free gummy bears. And another thing that I really talk about a stomach exorcism. Another thing that I can't wait to do is live stream video games with you, Daniel, because that is our thing. We do that. We play video games together. It's hilarious. You and I never stop laughing.
Oh gosh, yeah, it's ridiculous, and I mean, so depending on who we're playing with too, it gets funnier and funnier by the minute, and most of the time, I hate to break it to you, and I'm breaking the wall here. We're both not very good. We just have a lot of fun doing it.
Exactly, and that's what I tell everybody too. I suck at video games. Like, especially the ones that I love the most, which makes no sense. But, like, Star Wars Battlefront, like if a lightsaber were a real thing, I would do the classic Peter Griffin. Here's a check. Write any number on it, and it's yours. And Star Wars.
With your luck, too, it would you'd push the button and you cut off your own leg or something.
Oh, there's no way. I would be the best. But, I mean, like, when it comes to the video games, I'm one of the worst. Gotta be. But,
yeah, I'm bad, too.
But the common denominator, okay, through all of this, through the video games, through sports, everything, you and I connected on pro wrestling.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we both diehard fans our entire lives. We could sit here and we could talk about wrestling for hours, and it's how we met all the way back in, I'm going to say 2009, for a little thing called OWW Jeopardy. Now, when I talked with Nick Anthony last week, you guys heard about OWW, Online World of Wrestling, and there was a message board called OWW Genesis that Daniel and I were both a part of. I was Total Nonstop Attitude. I thought that was a cool name. And Daniel was and still is and will always be the old school warrior, okay? Yep. And he and I went head-to-head on a game of OWW Jeopardy with all wrestling categories. And Daniel, quote-unquote, beat me. And it was only because the audio on my phone line sucked. And it was not a fair fight at all.
Probably not, but at least I can say I beat you one time. Because the next time we played against each other, he absolutely destroyed me.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I'd love to do it again, and I think we can. We might be able to make something happen. Maybe I need to be Alex Trebek next time. Maybe it's not a fair fight.
Well, shoot. I mean, I know we even sometimes we're just hanging out playing games, and just through the headset we're playing Name That Tune with wrestling theme songs.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorites. I love doing that, and because I love the wrestling theme songs. And some of them are just great songs, man. I don't care what anybody says.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I just did a commercial for the local crawfish shack here in Monticello, and their song. I was talking with the guy a little bit earlier today before we recorded this, and I was like, "So, what kind of music do you want on the commercial?" And he said, "I want something with a sound that will catch everybody's attention." So, what did I do? What's one sound, Daniel, in pro wrestling that catches everybody's attention?
One sound.
Yeah. Think about all the entrance music. What is that one sound where when you hear it, without a doubt, everybody in that arena gets on their feet?
First thing that came to my mind was, woo!
Oh, my God. I mean, that's another one, but what's the second one? Come on.
Dang.
It's not that hard.
I'm thinking like a bunch of random things, not specifically one. Dang, what did you do?
Glass shatters, man. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, okay.
I mean, come on. When that glass shatters. I was
even thinking of like the Bret Hart riff.
Well, yeah, I already used that for the Vapor Store, but because it's Randall's Jammin' Vapors. You know, I thought, what is a good jammin' song? Bret Hart, that's a good song. But
okay.
Yeah, he said he wanted some sound that would trigger people, and so I thought glass shatters.
Right on.
But,
well, at least it wasn't like Jordan Devlin's music. That's like one freaking note.
Yeah. It's a good song though.
It is. It's really funny how it is. It's only like one note over and over again.
Yeah, bom bom, bom bom. Yeah. But anyway, that's how Daniel and I connected, was wrestling. You know, we both love just listening to wrestling theme music. It's awesome, and we ended up working together on OWW Radio shortly after the Jeopardy game, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I used to call in fairly often, and I know that they were always like, "Hey, you call in so much, why don't you be part of the show?" And you were like the same way. So yeah, I mean, it kind of just we kind of became regulars on the show occasionally. I mean, hey, come in, help us out. Or I know that you had tried to make connections with people to try to bring in bodies for interviews and whatnot too. And then over time, I mean, as the different iterations of the radio shows and stations and websites we've been on, we worked together and had our own shows. I mean, respectively had our own shows, and then also came together again on other projects as well.
Right, yeah, and you were responsible for bringing in some bodies for interviews as well, and one that I'll never forgive you for.
Oh, gosh.
And you know exactly who I'm talking about. No, wait. No, that was Scott. Oh.
Wrong person.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
I was like, which person is this one?
No, I always think about the Bret Hart interview that you guys got to do, and I got the shaft on that one. And
yeah, I don't think I was on that one, though. I don't remember being on that one. I've
No.
gotten to meet him before, and I know you were pissed off at me for that.
yeah, that's what it is. But, I mean, happy ending to that story. I got to meet Bret Hart a couple of years ago, and you were there for that, too.
Yes, yeah, that was in New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans for WrestleMania 34, and I went into debt that weekend. But
Yeah.
nonetheless.
Hey, we saved money on flights. That's for darn sure.
Yeah, we drove down. You flew into Little Rock instead of
Yep.
flying down to New Orleans, and then I went and picked you up from the airport. You stayed with me, and then we drove. We took my truck, a 2001 Chevy Silverado with 190,000 miles,
Yeah. That was dangerous.
and literally the day after I dropped you back off at the airport, I had a blowout on the road. So 24 hours after our trip to New Orleans, a 9-hour drive, I had a blowout.
Glad I didn't die.
Yeah, so fun stuff, man. Fun stuff. Yeah, you're really glad. Yeah, you slept the entire drive home after WrestleMania. We drove home overnight. All right,
Most of the way. Not the whole
you
way.
were out before we left the Superdome. What are you talking about?
No, we were. Okay, here's the thing. We actually left WrestleMania early, if you can believe it, because it was the same stuff as always, Roman and Brock Lesnar. So we actually left early and got out of there before anybody else.
Hey, let's be honest, okay? Don't say anything negative about Roman Reigns, because here on KHBM, our radio station, he actually sings "My Little
I'm a little teapot.
Yeah, I'm a Little Teapot. Yeah, he sings that for us.
Yeah.
So can't say anything bad about that guy. He loves the kids, man.
Dude, it's just when you see the same main event over and over again, it's like, okay, whatever.
No, for sure. We hate Roman Reigns. It's okay. But yeah.
I had the app on my phone, though. We were watching it. Well, I was watching it. You were driving.
Yeah, there you go. More selfishness.
Sure.
But no, it was a fun time. We went to the one in Orlando together the year before that, and then Dallas the year before that. So we went to 3 straight WrestleManias together. Can't wait for the next one, man.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be the one in Tampa. I don't know. I don't know about that one.
No, definitely not for me. No,
Probably a little too short of notice now. But you know what? I've been telling people, I cannot wait. And everybody's always talking about, hey, when is it gonna go out of the country? I can't wait till they have it over in London because I want to be there.
Yeah, I do too, for sure. I mean, first time out of the country would be awesome to go to London, England, and to be able to go to Wembley Stadium or the O2 Arena, or wherever they would have WrestleMania would be awesome to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, yeah, for sure, man. We'll have to do it again at some point. And, you know, I'm really glad that, you know, everything led us to where we are now because, you know, you've done work for local independent wrestling promotions out there where you live.
Yep.
I just recently got to interview former NWA World Champion Tim Storm due to, you know, my past with OWW Radio and all my connections that I've been fortunate enough to make in wrestling. It's gotten me to where I'm at, man. You know, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now for a living if it weren't for you guys.
Yeah, no, I mean it's one of those things where I mean, wrestling has been an important part for both you and me, and I mean, we've gotten a chance to do some crazy things that I never thought in a million years I would get to do. I mean, we got to interview Kota Ibushi. Like
Yeah, that's
that's
another one.
that's
Yeah.
something completely out of left field. Who would have thought that would have happened? I mean, we've had a lot of cool little adventures along the way too. I mean, like we said, New Orleans and Dallas, and shoot, you even you came out for when we went to San Antonio for the Rumble.
Yep, San Antonio at the Alamo Dome, one of my bucket list places to visit. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, man. I mean, really, it's been just one crazy experience after another the entire time that I've known you guys. You know, you, Nick Anthony, Scott up in New York. You're one of your best friends, Brian from Columbus, Ohio, which the listeners know as well.
Nice.
I've been very fortunate to make a group of very, very good friends, and it's all because of OWW Radio and how I got my start in radio.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how the world works. Like seriously, man, you are like family to me, and it's amazing how like you can create a bond with somebody. Like I didn't meet you in person until that was it Dallas? Was it that
Yeah,
had to have been it?
Dallas. Yeah,
First
Dallas.
time I ever met you in person. So I mean that was only what 4 or 5 years ago officially, I think.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
So I mean we knew each other for about 5 6 years before we even met in person. But I mean, talking to each other, I mean, at least once a week, if not multiple times per week for X number of years. Yeah, man, we got you, me, and Scott, and I mean Brian and Nick, and even Corey up in Canada too. Man, we all got real close, real fast.
Yeah, man. Corey, of course, went on to do radio up in Canada as well.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of us kind of stuck with stuff, and I know Scott and I did our show for a while there, continued on, and I mean now for me, I haven't done anything in a little bit, but I mean I'm a substitute teacher, so I I got my own things to deal with that and my coaching and stuff like that. So we'll see how things go in the future. I may get back into it. You never know.
Yeah, and I don't know if you want to talk about what you do for a living, but if you do, why don't you tell the people out there exactly what you do for a living?
Well, yeah, just a substitute teacher at a high school, and I enjoy it. Kids can be a pain in the butt sometimes, but I mean, it's a living. I coach racket sports as well, tennis and badminton, and they got me helping out with swimming now too because they needed an extra body to help out with swimming. So it's been an eclectic mix of stuff out here for me. So. But yeah, man, wrestling's always been a big part of things too. Just it's usually always a spare time thing. I used to write for the Daily DDT, a blog site that a person you've had on the show before, Graham.
Yes.
He writes for as well. Like I know Graham as well. So yeah, we're all a pretty tightly knit group of people that just all kind of came together on different projects, and now it's like, dang, man, can't believe time has flown as much as it has. I can't believe it's 2020 already.
That's right. And one thing I want to touch on, I think it's hilarious that you coach swimming now because all those years I made fun of you for coaching badminton because I had no idea what it was. I used to jokingly just call it water polo.
Yep. And now I'm at a pool in the afternoons here coming up. We just had our team meeting just the other day, and we'll be in the pool, I guess, here in the next month.
Yep, that's awesome. And substitute teacher here in Arkansas, that salary is a lot different from substitute teacher in California. You make a pretty decent living out there.
I do okay. I mentioned previously I had a short stint where I lived in Texas, and compared to Texas, since I know the numbers, it's way better. But cost of living is a lot less out where you are, so it makes a little more sense for that. So yeah, cost of living California is so high. Apartments are ridiculously expensive.
And a lot of our fans out there, here, the Bible Belt and Southeast Arkansas, would be happy to know that you live in California and you are a conservative.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, you just outed me on the radio. Yeah, that's right.
Well,
Yeah, no, I am a conservative. Yeah, I am a Christian. I am a conservative. So, yeah, there you go.
so you're going into war every single day you go to school.
Unfortunately, it does feel like that some days.
Well, you will not be silenced, and it's because of your experience in radio, I would say. But anyway, I mean, you and I, we don't just bond over video games and pro wrestling. I mean, really, we could sit here, we could have a 3-hour long conversation about anything, like anything from movies. You and I, the listeners remember. Starting back in September, I did Sci-Fi September, 31 Days of Halloween in October, Arnold Schwartz in November. That all came from you.
That's I gotta give credit where it's due. That's thanks to Scott and our old friend the Caveman Dave Cave over on the Horrors Online forum, all horror movies related and stuff. But they did a movie marathon thing themed. And it was something that I got into it with because of Scott and Dave, and all of a sudden it was just like, oh, okay, cool. And you started pulling that stuff with us a little bit, and then you got into the radio show, and it was just natural to bring something up.
Yeah, and you got to watch that language talking on here, man.
Horror movies, slasher films.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
That was the never-ending joke.
Oh, man. Yeah, some good times. Horrors Online. It's hard to say.
I know. It's
that's another place where we all connected. Caveman, which I'm trying to find him right now and get him on here for an interview because Cave is really, one of the reasons that I found any of you guys. And he was one of the original co-hosts of OWW Radio. He's the guy who he actually burned CDs for me and mailed them to me in the mail, Metallica CDs, just because he felt like I needed to hear the music. And if it weren't for him doing that, I would have never started playing guitar, never would have done any of that stuff. So I owe him a lot, and I'd really like to get him on here for an interview.
Well, hopefully Lars Ulrich doesn't hear that.
Well, in the age of Spotify, iTunes, and things like that, it's I think it's
I think you've seen Metallica enough times to warrant it now, I guess.
Well, I've only seen them once live, but
well, yeah, you bought all their CDs. You're part of the fan club.
That's right, yeah, and best concert I've ever been to, and I play them a lot on the radio. Yeah. So, nonetheless, I mean, Caveman, I really owe him a lot. He's a great guy. I really hope he's doing good out there, and hopefully here in the next week or two, I'll be able to find contact with him and get him on here for an interview. And what I'm really wanting to do is get the band back together for some classic OWW radio, and we're working on some different ideas for podcasts and things of that nature. So this isn't the end of AK and Daniel Correia here on the AK After Hours YouTube page for sure.
We'll see what happens, man. You never know. Never say never. That's a wrestling thing.
That's right. Got to get in contact with that mother Canucker Corey up in Canada. Got to wake up Scott up in New York, and that's like waking a sleeping giant. You don't want to do that too often. But no, I might even have to get old Brian the Claw on here, which is Gene from Bob's Burgers for anybody out there listening.
Yeah, we can mess with him about that.
Yeah, I mean, Brian just loves everybody. That's what I love about Brian. He's never met someone that's not his best friend.
Well, and he also, I mean, again, I've known Brian since high school. So yeah, we're going on almost 20 years now. I've known him. He has no shame. He just is like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go do this, and I'm like, dude, you look like an idiot. So, okay.
Yes, and I mean, yeah, you Can't help but feel sorry for the guy.
Jeez.
Well, I mean, Brian, we joke, but Brian is a great human being. He was in almost a very, very bad accident as a kid. He was run over by a train, and he lived to talk about it.
Not even fooling. That's no joke. That's total shoot.
Yes. I've never heard of anything that crazy in my life. That's why we call him the Claw, because he's got a claw, but
Yeah, he's only got a couple fingers on one hand, so that's why.
But it's a strong hand.
It's a strong hand.
But Brian is really a great guy. The people here, you guys out there listening, you would love him. But nonetheless, that's going to come up here hopefully soon here on AK in the beginning. But yeah, man, is there anything else you would like to say to the listeners here in Southeast Arkansas?
Oh man, shoot. Hopefully you're listening to this. Hopefully you're listening to the morning show. I know Aaron has put a lot of effort into it. When I first heard you say that you were gonna do a local radio show, I was like, really? Like that's kind of cool. And because heck, if I wanted to get into something out here in California, I would have to make sure I have the right degree and do an internship and never get to actually be on air out here, because it's all, I mean, I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area, so it's a very heavy market tough to try to get into. So yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do that, and you would then all right, you got 3 weeks to learn how to do everything, and then you're running all on your own. I was like, dang, man, that's awesome. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I was I was doing the first episode of AK in the Morning was my second day. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, but you also had somebody there kind of helping you, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, helping me out with any questions I had and things like that. But the second day, he gave me the mic and said, "Go." So.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was
I
crazy.
remember you getting excited about it and going on and doing whatever it was, training to learn how to do the board and everything. But it's just man, that was real quick. Oh, jeez. Okay, cool. He's doing it. Awesome.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, man. As I approach episode 140, which
God Lord, it's been that many.
Yeah, 140, I believe. We're recording this the Friday before this will be posted. I believe 140 will be today, the day that this video is released on YouTube. So, yeah, man, it's crazy to think about. And might have to get you to come on the show for episode 150.
We'll see what happens. Let's see if I can wake up with the time change.
Yeah, you're 2 hours behind over there in the Pacific Standard Time Zone. So, yeah, it would be might have to pre-record something. We could do that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and give you an opportunity to request a song for the first time.
Nice.
Yeah, but nonetheless, Daniel Correia from San Leandro, California. Thanks for taking a minute to sit down and talk with me here on AK After Hours, man.
No problem, brother. And hopefully to 100,000,000 more episodes.
Yeah, and views on this video.
Yeah. Be sure, hit that subscribe button, hit the like. I'll do the pitch for you. Shoot.
Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate it, and I would really appreciate it if you would hit that little red subscribe button right underneath this video. Go over to the Facebook page, AK in the Morning. Go over to the Instagram page, AK in the Morning. And Daniel, you want to plug any of your Instagram or anything like that?
No big deal to me. It's just just if you're out there, again, wrestling fans, I think this is awesome. There's a lot of stuff out there right now to watch. Try to enjoy as much as you can of it. Between the WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, the NWA's resurgence, Ring of Honor, New Japan, everything. Just watch as much as you can and enjoy it while you have it before something goes wrong.
Yeah, amen. That's what I got to say to that. Great advice. Just enjoy, not just wrestling, but anything in life. Enjoy it at your fullest, okay? So, Daniel, thanks for sitting down and talking to me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Look out for a next one. Look out for another one next Friday. Take care, everybody.